Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the F1 Season Review podcast, hosted by yours truly, Esther Oliver, and I'm joined by my former co-com for GP3 and current Aston Martin driver for GP2 is Macaulay. How you doing, Bo?
I love how you've got so many things wrong there.
You know what I mean.
How could I come with you in GP3 when you race in GP3?
Oh, you see, work has caught up with me, and Asda working 3 in the morning.
Yep, and I've also raced for Williams for 2 months now.
I don't catch up with GP2 a lot, so
Alright.
Okay then, but we're here to season review. We're here to do the F1 season review. The season's done. 2021 season's now finished. We just had the prize giving awards recently, and we're here to review the F1 season. So we're going to start off in Bahrain, where it all kicked off. Main talking point is where it goes to the final stage of the race. Both Hamilton and Verstappen would go in a very intense battle, and Verstappen was shoved out wide by Hamilton and overtaking him on the outside of the track, and that's when the FIA caused the track limit. That frees up the controversy of track limits, where Verstappen overtook Hamilton around the outside, where all the other drivers have been doing it, and then the FIA did seem to be apparent that Verstappen should bring the position back. I don't know what your opinion is that, Macaulay, but do you think that it was right for Verstappen to get the position back, or since all the other drivers were doing it, do you think the position should have been upheld and stayed the way it is?
I mean, the way Verstappen's pace was the entire weekend, because I remember he qualified on pole by some margin and be caught up by quite a lot as well, was just he struggled to get past, and when he did, he got told to give it back. I remember he said that he could have pulled out the gap if he got a penalty after the race had finished, so yeah. I don't think that would have happened, but, I mean, it would have been for an exciting finish, but, yeah.
It was funny because both teams were doing both Mercedes and Red Bull were literally fighting each other in a custom strategy. I think Mercedes were trying to ghost Red Bull into an opposite strat, and Red Bull got the upper hand on tyres and after the safety car. Sergio Perez had a very good drive though, going through the field towards the go through the field and actually getting a very good result for Red Bull on his debut, because he had a slight technical failure on the car, if I do remember correctly.
Just shut off. Yeah.
That's what everyone's saying with the second Red Bull's cursed. You remember Alex Albon, Pierre Gasly, and so they're saying the second Red Bull is cursed and everyone else, but Sergio did a very good drive for Sergio. We also had a debut of Aston Martin as well. The Aston Martin machine debuted. And what do you think of the Aston Martin, the lime green and the night sky of Bahrain?
Well, it looked nice, but it didn't perform very well, I remember. Because I remember Vettel rear-ended Ocon, got a penalty, and finished last.
I mean, it was a little bit funny that all Vettel's experience just ramps up behind Ocon's rear end.
Yeah. You love to see it.
Literally, it was funny. Good result for Mercedes, and they took first blood in Bahrain, and then we moved on to Imola, where a very crazy race, would you say the least, started in the wet conditions, and lap 1, turn 1, Verstappen Hamilton went at it again, and this time Verstappen shut the door on Hamilton, literally forced Hamilton onto the bumpy road, the bumpy yellow sausage road, you want to call it?
I mean, there wasn't much road there, but whatever it was, Hamilton was on it. But, yeah. I mean, it was a sign of things to come for the season. Yeah. So you could tell Verstappen wasn't going to mess about this season. It was his best chance to get the title, and he knew he had the pace as well, because he struggled in qualifying, I remember.
Literally, he dominated the race as well. He really dominated on strategy as well, and the way Red Bull conducted the strategies. McLaren were actually really strong during qualifying as well. I remember Lando Norris actually almost got pole position if he didn't run wide at that the fast left-hander where he can get exceed the track. Yeah, that was so annoying. I really wanted Lando Norris to get pole at that point. Even Lando Norris said himself on video or Twitch, he said, "Oh yeah, that's my fault. You should have done it."
Right, then the other talking point, the Mercedes driver and the Mercedes protege come together.
That was the biggest talking point, really. Is George Russell, Valtteri Bottas. I remember a few people, all of us on Discord said, "Oh, it's all Bottas's fault. He moves on to the right," and you could say George was a little bit at fault to going onto the grass a little bit. Do you think is it all settled? I know it's all settled down now, but do you think Bottas could have went a little bit more to the left to give George a bit more room? Or
it's just one of those things, really. I mean, George had too much overspeed. He touched the grass, really. Like if it was a bone dry race, he's getting past easily. But just touched the grass, and we saw the consequences from it.
And Verstappen won, and we got a very decent, and then the Norris guys podium as well. I was trying to think who came second, actually. Who came second in there? It was Lewis Hamilton. Yeah, he went off, didn't he? Yes, he went off.
Yeah. He went a lap down as well, and that red flag put him back in the race.
He was one lucky soul, was Lewis Hamilton at that point.
Yeah.
One hell of a lucky soul.
I keep saying that if that red flag didn't come out, Lewis wouldn't have finished in the points.
Literally, oh my word, it was a crazy race, and then we moved on to round 3. What was round 3? I'm trying to think.
Portugal.
Yeah, not one of the greatest of races. Would you say it was very a box standard F1 race? It's not one of the greatest races.
Yeah, just the typical Mercedes dominance, really.
Well, and then literally, it was a pretty box standard. Midfield was good. I mean, we had a few overtakes here and there going into turn 1.
The two Alphas collided.
Oh yeah, Kimi Raikkonen hit the back of Raikkonen hit the back of Giovinazzi. Literally, that was really weird from Kimi. I thought he would have got a little bit left on that main straight. Verstappen tried to play the strategy game and lost to Merck, and Hamilton was pretty much dominant in that one.
Yeah, that won by 30 seconds in the end.
Yeah, then we went on to Spain, the Spanish Grand Prix. I think it was
new track layout.
Yeah, the reprofile turn 10. That was for MotoGP. Yeah, it was not that bad. I mean, not bad of a Grand Prix. It was more strategy than racing.
Yeah, just more Mercedes dominance again, or more Hamilton dominance.
Yeah, Verstappen got Hamilton at the start, and then tried to pull away. Then Mercedes was just giving Hamilton all the options, and Red Bull didn't seem to react, didn't they? They kept Verstappen out, and then Hamilton just like, yeah, you just carry on.
Yeah, I'm looking at the timings now, and only 4 drivers finished within a minute of the leader.
Really? Oh my word, really?
Yeah. Yeah, Perez was in 5th, about a minute and 5 behind him. Then everyone from 8th downwards was lapped.
Oh wow!
Yeah. Just shows how Hamilton owns that track, really.
Yeah, literally. Then we went to round 4, which was Baku, I believe.
No, we go to round 5, which was Monaco.
Round 5, yeah, it was Monaco. What is poor qualifying from Hamilton, to say the least. It's poor from him.
The fact that neither Red Bull or Mercedes were the talking point of the weekend was quite surprising, because we remember Mr. Charles Leclerc.
Yeah, he got the pole position, and it was such he crashed in sort of thing. Was it? Yeah, was it? Was it qualifying, or was it bloody? It
was his final lap.
Yeah. And he completely smashed up the drivetrain on the left hand side, didn't he? Yeah. And then he had to pull out of pole position. I think Charles could have got a very good chance. And
I think Ferrari would have had a double podium there, because Sainz was in 2nd as well.
Yeah, literally. Sainz had a really good race.
And also McLaren's as well with their Golf livery.
I really like that Golf livery. I wish they had that in the game and have a little, and us drivers can have a little go with it. Especially with me, since I went McLaren for GP3. I mean, and also as well, we had the longest pit stop ever for Valtteri Bottas.
a 2-day pit stop
to get that left front off. Dear,
and then we had the infamous Lance Stroll moment as well.
Oh, yeah, the meme. The meme. Oh,
beautiful.
Oh, the only chance I've ever overtaken is Sebastian Vettel and the other driver. Literally batting away, and the directors go, nah, we're just going to show Lance Stroll crashing, having a bump with the barrier at the swimming pool section. What has happened? We need to know.
Speaking of Sebastian Vettel, he had a brilliant race, didn't he?
Yeah, he did, didn't he?
He finished ahead of Hamilton. Hamilton had a shocker, finished 7th.
It's just because of qualifying, it's just because of Monaco and track position. It's Monaco being a qualifying track than a racetrack, really.
Yeah.
But if you speak of racetracks, then you got Baku. Oh my god, what a race! What a race!
This kicks off the season.
It does as well, don't it? Well, one of the main talking points, it was the tyres. They blew up.
It all started off with Lance Stroll. You know, his tyre just down the main straight just decided to die, pretty much.
Literally,
there's no other way to explain it.
Yeah, literally, he was going very strongly well, doing his strategy, and then the tyre blew up, and then that caused the safety car.
I remember on his radio, he was scared, you know, because he's on the fastest point of the track.
200 miles an hour, wasn't he? Hit the wall.
Yeah, something like that.
And then, of course, we had Max Verstappen crashing into the wall, and because of the tyre failure, that's when Pirelli had to investigate the tyres. Red flag and all. And Sebastian Vettel again, he was on another. He had a very good race out there. Strategy paid really well for him.
Well, I remember Perez's hydraulics died just as he crossed the line as well. So
it did, yeah. He was one lucky boy, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god! Imagine everyone in Discord saying, "Yeah, go Seb."
It would have been a Vettel, Gasly, Leclerc podium. That would be
some podium. There on Channel 4. There were Channel 4 where Mark Webber had a massive scream moment when Hamilton.
Over Hamilton's brake magic, yeah.
Imagine if someone could put that into a meme, that would be so funny. Have you seen the video of that as well? Have you seen the video of Mark Webber's scream?
Yeah, with the camera.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Oh my word! Ferrari again. They got pole again with Charles Leclerc, and that podium was Checo's first ever win for Red Bull, which is fantastic for them because no other driver the second driver to win in a Red Bull with Max Verstappen ever since Daniel Ricciardo.
He was the first driver to win in 2 different cars in the hybrid era. I remember it said that because he won in Racing Point the season before, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
Well done to Sergio, and we moved on.
If there's anyone else who's done that, Ricciardo.
Yeah, Danny Rick.
Done that this season.
Yeah, because he won in McLaren, Red Bull. Yeah. So what was the next race after that?
France, the strategic masterclass.
The Red Bull and the undercuts. They played their strategies well in that race. They duped Mercedes big time on tyre strategy. The way Verstappen passed Bottas actually telling it off the team. Yeah, Bottas was really upset. Because he knew for all day long was a 2-stop, and Mercedes, they're always going to go for Hamilton and give him the 2-stop. If Mercedes listened to Bottas, I think Bottas could have really fended off Verstappen.
It's an awkward one, you know. If Hamilton 1 stopped, his tyres would have been dead either way. Yeah. It's rough.
It was France was pretty good. A good race. It's not the best of races, but
yeah, I remember the Ferraris just lost all of their pace at the end of the race.
Yeah, Ferrari were just
finished in 16th, I think.
Yeah, and this is where the talk came around about George Russell's qualifying been talking about, and everyone's like, get George Russell Mercedes, get George to Mercedes, hashtagging it.
Yeah, he finished 12th that race, so yeah, if there was some retirements because there were none that race, he could have got a point.
Yeah, literally, yeah, definitely. And of course, during that season as well, the Haas was literally, especially Mick Schumacher and Mazepin, they were just literally arguing, bicker. Just because the end of the season, I just felt sorry for them, especially because Gunther Steiner had to put up with it all. If you want to watch Drive to Survive when it's coming out, then it's a must watch on Netflix.
Oh, we're gonna see some more Fox Smash Door.
Yeah. The Styrian Grand Prix, the first of the Austrian races.
Yeah.
And Verstappen won by a country mile.
That's all you could say, really.
But Verstappen just won by a country mile.
Everyone but the top 4 was lapped. Yeah.
And then we had the other Austrian Grand Prix, which was
which Verstappen won by a mile.
But it was Perez was very aggressive with his overtaking and his defending, especially with Lando Norris did it first to him, and they basically they made contact. Well, they didn't make contact. Perez shoved Norris off the track into the gravel. Then he did it twice then Perez thought it'd be funny to shove Norris off the track, and then he did it to Charles Leclerc twice.
Yeah, I remember Leclerc lost his wing in the start of this race, didn't he? And he had to pit, and he had a brilliant drive through the field. That might have been the first, or that might have been stereo.
Then Hamilton had a very had a problem with his Hamilton had a problem in the engine as well. He had was it something to do with the engine?
I don't remember. All I can see is he finished 20 seconds behind Norris in 4th.
Yeah, Hamilton had a big massive problem, but yeah, Norris was his 4th podium of the season as well, which is fantastic result for Norris. And we were talking at this point where if McLaren were actually somewhat of a contender, because that McLaren with the Mercedes engine in the back was really looking pretty decent.
Yeah, Norris was still 3rd in the championship at this point, wasn't he?
Yeah, he is. Yeah, he did. Yeah.
The first part of the season, he was 3rd for a long time.
And then we moved on to the biggest talking point of the race. The British Grand Prix lap 1 in Cops. Discord was on fire about this.
Let's talk about the introduction of the sprint race.
Oh yeah, the sprint race, yeah.
Sprint race. I remember Hamilton qualified on pole for the sprint race.
Yeah.
And Verstappen got him down the inside into Cobbs, which foreshadowed Sunday. And yeah, Verstappen ran away with it. Perez had a spin, which meant he started the race in 20th.
Yeah.
Which I found pretty funny, because he got punished for a mistake, which is rough, but yeah. Then we move on to Sunday. My oh my. My
oh my, what a race. And the controversy spat out. And everyone's going to talk about this until when they forget it. Literally.
No one's going to forget it.
So, still any thoughts on that one, Macaulay? With Verstappen and Hamilton, lap 1 in Cops. Oh my god.
What I'm going to say is, I feel this is more controversial than Senna Prost at Suzuka.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Because Prost was clear-cut, he turned in early, and then Senna, this year after, it was clear-cut, he didn't brake. But this, could Hamilton have left more space? Could Verstappen have backed out? Should Charles Leclerc have won the race? Yes. Yeah, it's just awkward, And then Hamilton didn't really have much to say about it. Verstappen was rightfully pissed about it. Yeah.
Christian Horner was absolutely fuming about it in the interview with Sky F1.
I remember seeing the bill for how much that rebuild cost. It was about £2.5 million.
It cost Red Bull so much money to rebuild that car. I don't know if any other shout-outs in that race as well.
Charles Leclerc.
Yeah, Charles Leclerc. Yeah, he led every lap. Yeah, literally.
I was so sad when he didn't win because I'm a big Ferrari fan. Yeah.
And it's the way I'm a Hamilton fan. I know, and everyone knows I'm a Hamilton fan. But it's the way Hamilton celebrated at the end of the race.
Yeah. The
flag, the way he celebrated with the trophy. Oh my god.
Yeah, I think it was this point Hamilton's championship gap went from Verstappen's championship gap went from 33 to about 8 points or 7.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember who got the fastest lap, but I can't see it.
It was it Sergio Perez because he's trying to get the fastest lap away from Hamilton.
Now Perez is in 16th, so it must be. Yeah, awful race for Red Bull.
Yeah, literally, and what was it? And everyone had their talk on the view and sprint race. We did a podcast on that as well. We had a discussion on that as well. We had a good talk on that, and we actually quite like the sprint races. I think it'll be a good alternative to qualifying. If you have qualifying on Friday, then the sprint race is Saturday. Then you got a decent race for Sunday. Really makes us at the grid, I think.
Yeah, but the thing is, you got to think if someone gets in an incident that's not their fault in sprint quality, they're forced to start in 20th, or 19th or whatever.
Like I said, it mixes up the grid a bit.
Well, yeah, but it punishes drivers for having incidents that aren't necessarily their fault.
True.
Let's jump forward a bit in the season to Gasly at Monza. He had contact with Hamilton, I think, coming out of turn 1. His wing broke, went under him. And that ruined his weekend.
True point.
Yeah, I mean, it's an awkward conversation, but I think sprint races are going to stay.
Yeah,
and I'm welcome for it.
What was the race after Britain?
Hungary.
Oh, Esteban Ocon, big, massive freaking shout out.
But I don't want to say it's because Ocon won the race, but forget Ocon. Let's go to his teammate.
Fernando Alonso is defending with Lewis Hamilton was absolutely nothing but excellent. In the FIA awards, he got action of the year. Unbelievable, and he deserved it as well.
And then we're not even talking about what happened in turn 1,
Oh yeah, Bottas decides to play Wii bowling.
Yeah, Bottas got a strike.
He caught 2 Red Bulls and a McLaren.
Yeah, 2 Red Bulls, a McLaren and himself.
What was he thinking about there? What was he thinking about there? Going to a corner that slow and to rise like a bloody bowling ball, decides to take the other drivers out.
I'm just remembering this race now. So many odd things happened because I remember Stroll T-boned Leclerc, which ruined both of their races, and then there was the red flag and the restart. Hamilton
decides to go on his own.
How many cars were on the grid? Yeah.
It's like something you see. It's something you see. Is what you see on here, isn't it? Literally, everyone disconnects.
It reminds me of when I'm playing when I was playing F1 2011 and trying to cause as many red flags, get as many retirements, and you'd start the grid and there'd be like a HRT with you as well.
Yeah, very true. That was funny. Everyone made so many memes to that as well. So the moment where everyone disconnects and you're the only one on the grid.
Yeah.
While you're running into a league race, where the hell is everyone else?
Yeah. Then what else was there? Sebastian Vettel.
Oh, another podium for Seb. Yeah. To be fair, big massive props to Ocon for defending, but I still wanted to see Seb back up there. It'd have been so nice for him. So there was Vettel getting disqualified, and there was the Williams. Yeah, Williams
got their first points in years.
I know, I
remember Russell's interview after that. He was crying. He was crying.
Oh, I don't blame him. He went for the amount of luck that man has went through just to get a point.
He finished ahead of Verstappen.
Not to mention Latifi got a point as well. Latifi got a point as well.
We just talked about how Schumacher and a Haas held off Verstappen for about 5 laps.
Oh, that was amazing for Schumacher.
I loved it.
Imagine one of the Ferrari boys leaving, Mick Schumacher goes in the Ferrari. It's so destined, but still.
Yeah.
What we got after that? Hungary. Was it? Did we have Belgium? Did we?
Hungary, then it was it was Belgium.
So
let's talk about the Netherlands.
Yeah, Belgium. Let's not talk about Belgium. The way they.
It was the debut of the helmet cam. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, but then
had a cool up.
George Russell. Cool up for George Russell. That was a blinder in the wet. Man, he was on provisional pole. Imagine he was on provisional pole in the Williams. He would have got his first bloody victory for no fault of his own. Oh, the way that we were, all of us were calling, just complaining. So even a few people on our Discord were literally having an argument with each other, thinking, "Oh, it's his fault. What's Michael Massey doing?"
One thing I want to say, I really think Norris could have gotten pole there, and if he got pole, he would have won the race.
If George Russell got pole, if anyone got pole, they would have won the bloody thing.
Well, yeah, but it's just the way Norris was dominating qualifying. I'm pretty sure he was top of both Q1 and Q2.
Oh, he was so unfortunate with the crash, though.
And then, yeah.
Top of Rouge, that was a nasty incident as well. That was super nasty.
The way Brundle called it, but when he goes up Eau Rouge, like the first part, it doesn't even look like he's lost control, and Brundle's already called that he's lost the car. You know?
He's psychic.
That's good guy, Seb.
Oh, bless Sebastian, man.
We love Seb.
Bless him. He actually, if he was like one of the race stewards or a race director, he would know his stuff. Sebastian
F1 would actually be good.
Exactly. I mean, yes. I had my agendas against Sebastian for a long time. Okay. When he was at Red Bull, I had my deepest agenda against him. But now he's matured. He's actually a super nice guy. He's really funny to talk to as well.
I remember that Mazepin got the fastest lap of the race.
Oh yeah, I was like, imagine he was in the top 10. I was like, Haas got a point, really?
Haas has got 2 points if he's in the top 10. Yeah, then there was Stroll getting a penalty, so he in a 2-lap race where there was no racing.
Oh my! It was just Hamilton. Every single drivers are saying it was just a mess. They should have postponed it or something. But if they just postponed it,
not giving a damn.
And Russell doesn't care. He got a podium.
On his Twitter, he said, "A podium's a podium." Doesn't matter how they come.
He doesn't care. Then we got the Dutch Grand Prix. I don't really rate the Dutch Grand Prix much with the track in real life. I remember the Dutch Grand Prix.
Track, I think.
Yeah, I do like the bank corners though. I do like the bank corners in Zandvoort. I mean,
I'm just having a look at like how far back everyone finished.
Verstappen just absolutely destroyed everyone.
Yeah. Everyone but the top 3 was lapped.
I mean, Mercedes. Don't get me wrong, Mercedes tried, but they had no answer to Verstappen.
Yeah, if Hamilton won there would have been riots.
Yes.
Yeah.
At this point, we had Hamilton win his own Grand Prix, and then we had bloody Verstappen win his own Grand Prix, and then I watched a video on some YouTuber's channel. Some person created a meme, or some person created a picture on his Reddit. Say Mazepin were in Russia.
Yep. I thought that. Was gonna come.
Yeah, literally.
And then Ricciardo technically won his home Grand Prix. Because he's part Italian, isn't he?
Oh, McLaren in Monza. Unbelievable pace. Their race pace.
Sprint race of the season.
Yeah, McLaren were absolutely ridiculous. What have they done to that car in Monza? I do not know. Was it just the perfect setup from McLaren?
It must have been, you know? Like McLaren just weren't messing about. But you know who was messing about?
Yeah.
Max Verstappen and Lewis Hamilton.
The second time those two have, not the first time, those two clubbed together, and the picture, the way they slow-mo the crash down of Verstappen's tyre hitting Hamilton on the head. That was a scary image. That was what.
Got a fresh trim.
Yeah, literally. And
I remember seeing the memes after where it's like Hamilton's new haircut and it's just a tyre imprint.
Oh god. I'm surprised it's not one of those cartoon characters when you see a butt there like trying to stick things pointing out of the helmet.
Also, this race we saw. Actually, it wasn't this race where we saw the return, but the homecoming of Robert Kibbitzer for the last two races at Netherlands and Italy.
It was nice to see Robert Kibbitzer back in the sport.
Yeah, you know, finishing ahead of Mazepin in the championship.
Oh, you know who I love to see return back into Formula One?
Yeah.
Nico Hülkenberg. I'd love to see Nico Hülkenberg back in Formula One. That would be so funny. Just the way Daniel Ricciardo's going to take the mickey out of it was so funny. Nah, fair play to McLaren, and their first 1-2 in such a long time, man. I mean, if I call this now, if McLaren built a brand new, a supreme car for next year, I'll put McLaren in top dogs for the championship.
I reckon it could be McLaren and Ferrari for next season because Red Bull and Mercedes have been focusing so much on getting this championship sorted.
Yeah, literally.
No?
We'll come to that later.
Yeah. And then Williams got their fifth points finish in 4 races because they had 2 double points.
Yeah, literally. This is where we start talking about Nicholas Latifi doing super well at in the Williams camp, but because he was so underrated, and now he's finally showing his talent now.
Nicholas Latifi.
Nicholas Latifi, yes.
I have to see it.
What race we had after that?
Russia.
Now, this race was super heartbreaking as well. We're going to get to that in a minute. So, this is where with the second half of the season, this is where we actually get start to pick up a lot more now.
Yeah. Let's speak about qualifying first.
Qualifying. Norris got pole.
What? Yeah.
Great pole for him.
Second. Russell got third.
It's like, what the hell's going on?
Who turned equal cars on?
That's the best top 3 you can think of for a Russia Grand Prix.
Yeah.
Then the start itself.
As well.
Yeah.
Sainz taking turn 1 into the lead. You know, there's me going.
Alonso did a supreme. Did you see the way Alonso did turn 2?
He didn't take turn 2. What you on about?
He was like, "Did you not see me?" He showed. Alonso was super smart.
He was such a smart ass, and then he got called out on it in the interviews the next race, and he was complaining because everyone else does it. Why did everyone call on me when I do it?
Yeah, exactly.
When his was very obvious.
Yeah, literally. Chat, get involved in these discussions, by the way. We'd love to hear from you. Literally. And then Lando, Norris, and McLaren. The most heartbreaking thing we can ever think of in Formula 1 this season. That was hard to watch. Fair play to Norris. He took the loss well, but he should have won that race, man. Mercedes played that call to a T with Hamilton. Hamilton didn't want to box.
Yeah. Then there was Verstappen as well. He started in last. He came home to finish P2.
I remember because they had an engine penalty, didn't they?
Yeah. Then Sainz got his 4th podium of the season, I think, as well.
Yeah, literally. Sainz was really excelling Ferrari. Really excelling. I'm surprised McLaren let it go, but then again, the commentator said it, but McLaren said it themselves. If Ferrari come calling... Oh, God.
Can you stay out? Yes, spins. The timing was perfect.
You couldn't time that any point. Another point. The Yuki Tsunoda was having a very up and down season as well. I mean, he did super well in Bahrain.
He didn't.
He did. Yeah, that was the down point of the season. He was very inconsistent with But Pierre Gasly, he was doing very well during this part of the season.
Yeah.
He's still trying to prove to Red Bull he still has what he got. But I don't think Red Bull even think about doing that yet.
No.
Not with their driver lineup, at least.
Right, what do we have after the Russian Grand Prix? We have the Turkish Grand Prix.
Yeah, Turkish Grand Prix. I don't know anything much about this race. I remember now. I remember now. It did rain a bit, and then it was the talk. Then we started having a conversation, Mercedes and tire strategies, and strategy calls. The Lewis Hamilton and Bono. Hamilton got really, really upset with the decision.
Yeah. Then the thing that got me like really hyped was Gasly was starting to catch him. You know, Gasly and Norris were starting to catch him.
Yeah, Hamilton just hold them off, only just. Not much to talk about. Who won that race? I think it was Verstappen, I believe. Oh yeah, Valtteri won, didn't he? Jesus Christ!
Paulo won the win.
Fair play to him. It's about time he won a thing.
Oh dear. Yeah, Bottas dominated, really.
Bottas did well.
15 seconds to Max.
At least Red Bull just being consistent with the constructors' points. That's all they were doing, just trying to keep that gap down to Mercedes. Any other things we need to know about the Turkish Grand Prix? It was just down to strategy, really, and the way the weather calls. And then what we had after Turkey?
United States of America.
Tim's Grand Prix.
Tim's own Grand Prix. We love Tim.
We loved him. Unfortunately, he did accept earlier, but then he just confirmed on Discord he wouldn't come on. It was just such a shame because we'd love to get his opinions on these races. And so the American Grand Prix.
This race was very much a slow burner, you know.
Slow burner. It picked up at the end with Hamilton chasing down Verstappen, but dirty air caught Hamilton out.
Like once you thought he got in that DRS straight, he was going to breeze past him easily, but he just didn't catch up for some reason, you know. No.
The United States Grand Prix. It's a good track, and then Verstappen won, and pretty much in Mercedes' backyard because Mercedes always been strong in COTA. But yeah, literally, well done to Verstappen and how we done it with in America and got it done out of the way and brings a good momentum to the next Grand Prix.
Which was Mexico.
Checo's race. This was a really dull race, boring.
Yeah. I don't even remember. I'm trying to remember what happened. Bottas got spun out at the start
by Danny.
Tsunoda went airborne.
Oh yeah, did he? Which Williams did he climb over? Was it Latifi's?
I think it was just a concertina of the Bottas incident. I don't know. It might have been Latifi.
But yeah, Mexico. I tried to watch the Mexico Grand Prix before work, and then literally I was like, I actually fell asleep. Literally, I actually legit fell asleep. It was that boring. I fell asleep.
I remember Perez was on Hamilton for quite a long time.
There were the fans. The one thing I like about Mexico is the way they do their podium.
The one thing I love about Mexico is Sergio Perez's father.
Oh, isn't it just? He's such a passionate father.
He was so happy.
Checo actually got a home podium in Mexico. That was something special for Sergio. It's just the way that the Mexico do their podiums, the way they lift the car up onto the podium.
Yeah.
It's like Hamilton got that treatment, and then Verstappen was like, "Yeah, fuck you." Sorry for the swearing, but still. It's like literally, it's like the biggest F you can think of. It's like, you want this treatment? I'll get this treatment.
What came after that? Brazil.
What a race this was! What a race this was! The sprint race. Hamilton was last.
Yep.
Hamilton was last, and then he went up to 5th, and then
he had his 5-place grid drop.
Brings him back down to 10th, and still won the Grand Prix.
Yeah, then there was the turn 4 controversy.
Then you went bonkers on Discord on this incident. You did.
I was.
You went absolutely livid.
Hey, I loved it.
Literally, everyone was just buzzing off on Discord. Literally, everyone was buzzing off.
I was like, Verstappen, it kind of didn't make the corner, wasn't going to. You tried to slow down. Oopsies.
Yeah,
Still
literally.
lost by 10 seconds. Almost got passed by Bottas.
Then Lando made contact at the start. Lando Norris got a puncher from it all.
Still managed to get a point, which was impressive.
Yeah, 2 points, and Ferrari was just taking control of McLaren at this point. Ferrari were having a really good end of the season, actually.
Yeah. Did Ferrari get third in the constructors? They did, didn't they?
They did, yeah. They did get third in the constructors, yeah.
Quite some margin.
Any other shouts? Brazil was a really good race.
Yeah.
Oh no, wait, it's called the Sao Paulo Grand Prix, I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's the Sao Paulo.
But I always called it the Brazilian Grand Prix.
Yeah, I'm just having a look to see if there's anything else. Mazepin finished ahead of Schumacher, that's worth a shout out.
Nice, big shout out for Mazepin. It doesn't mean anything, but it's still bragging rights at the end of the day. This is the point where Haas doesn't care about each other. Literally.
Right. I remember Mazepin was very worked up after the qualifying.
Oh yeah, I remember that. He got really worked up because both drivers didn't get what they want.
Yeah.
Literally, he's so brilliant. And,
yeah.
Your brother's calling Luke.
Is he? So yeah. Oh, shut that phone. Thank you.
You can mute. I'll talk about Qatar by myself if you want.
Yeah. So yeah, no. We'll do it. I'll call my brother back later. So yeah, let's talk about Qatar. The first time we went to Qatar, I liked the presentation.
I didn't like the track at all.
Most of the GP circuit, mostly.
Yeah.
We had the Alonso with shower of sparks in front of his face.
Yeah, Alonso entering the Matrix.
Literally, and then the main talking point of that race was the curbs.
Yeah. Who was it that got punctures? It was Bottas, Latifi, Russell. There was a McLaren, and then Norris got one, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, Norris had a slow one, so he had to pit. And yeah, it's just. I mean, if it's a MotoGP circuit car...
Alonso got his podium, though. That was a good popular podium.
Well-deserved podium. I remember Verstappen got a grid penalty, didn't he? Because Gasly got a puncture in qualifying.
Yeah.
And Verstappen still improved his lap. So, yeah. There was a late safety car, wasn't there? Which didn't allow Perez to get on the podium.
Oh, yeah. Perez is on a roll for a good result.
Yeah, it was Latifi. Latifi's engine died, didn't it, or something?
Yeah. And literally, and then literally Perez was trying to catch down Alonso and all that lot, but the gap was too big for Perez to catch.
Yeah.
Then we had Saudi, didn't we? No.
Let's have a look. Yes, we did.
Okay, this race. Okay, let's try to dive into this. We remember this race very, very strongly. Right.
Let's start with qualifying.
Start with qualifying.
Verstappen was on
it.
with the lap of the season. Quite easily. If he finished that lap, that was lap of the season.
Yeah.
But yeah, he got too greedy.
And then he just smacked the wall a bit too hard, and then the race itself. Okay, so what happened at the start? The first start was super clean. The first start was super clean. There was a lot of talk. There was a lot of talk about the track. The track was. It was a good track, but there was a lot of talk that the track was meh in terms of safety.
It was a Monza and Monaco love child, that track.
Yeah.
Yes, the way I love to describe it.
See, it was, and then we had
Schumacher crash.
Schumacher crashed, yep, and then so that brought up the red flag.
Yeah.
So Verstappen was one lucky boy at this point, so because he was out of it on strategy.
I remember I called this.
You just shouted Discord. I called it. I called it. It's like, and I was just popping a Discord. It's like, all right, calm down. You called it. I told you.
Mate, it was a genius strategy from Red Bull.
Do you remember Rogue Smithy? Was it Rogue Smithy? Yeah, it was Rogue. It was like, is this a red flag? Is this a red flag? Nah, it's not a red flag. And then you just pipe, it's like,
he said that.
Red flag.
Oh, that was such a smart strategy from Red Bull, to be fair.
They sticked it out for waiting for something to happen, and it came out brilliantly in the end.
Yeah. Then the second start.
This was a bit controversial.
A little?
Okay, so Verstappen and Hamilton almost made contact. Verstappen went off the track and held position and got away.
And then absolute chaos ensued behind.
Perez span, and then Mazepin, no fault of his own,
rear-ended Russell.
I would say rear-ended Russell. He buried it inside Russell. He buried.
This is an SFW stream, Oliver.
Yeah, you know what I mean. His Haas car just literally went underneath the Williams in point of no return.
And then that was red flag number 2.
So he had another restart. And this is where Ocon was ahead at this point.
Yeah, because the stewards decided to play deal or no deal.
Oh, that was funny. Someone should have put a meme of a GIF of deal or no deal on.
They did. Pretty sure I've seen it. It was amazing.
It's like Michael Massey was talking to both Red Bull and Mercedes, right? Do you want Verstappen will be behind Hamilton? You need to take a 2+ grid job. Deal or no deal?
Give us a minute to think about it. It was just amazing. And then the third start.
Now,
Verstappen, not
good
a care
move
in the world.
Good move.
Either he was leading into turn 1, or he wasn't finishing the race. I said that before the restart happened.
He had to have all the trust in the world that Ocon doesn't turn in on him, and my God, he didn't.
Yeah.
And then after that, oh my word! Then the whole thing started to kick off with Red Bull and Mercedes and Hamilton and Verstappen once more. So let's just try to get this through as good as we can. So what happened is, them two are fighting, and then who went off the track? I think it was Hamilton. Yeah, Hamilton was off the track.
Verstappen broke himself. And took the place back into the first chicane. And that's where the call for Red Bull to tell Max to give the place back happened.
Yeah.
And quite in the layman's terms, he didn't.
He wasn't really too best pleased about it all.
This is where Hamilton had a slight misunderstanding with what Max was doing. Because at this point there was quite a few virtual safety cars, and I think Hamilton thought there was another virtual safety car. You know? And
then Hamilton thinks there's a brake test. He sort of got a point because the way Verstappen sort of broke and then sort of put his foot down after the touch.
I'm pretty sure the telemetry showed that Verstappen broke as Hamilton went to pass, but yeah. And then
Hamilton then Hamilton got ahead. Then Verstappen decides he thinks he's smart to overtakes Hamilton immediately into the last corner. Yeah. And then I was shouting at the TV. It's like, what on earth is going on?
It was such a mess of a race. Yeah. And then Hamilton won by about half a minute, I'm pretty sure.
Because Verstappen ran out of tyres.
Yeah, and then there was Valtteri Bottas and Esteban Ocon.
Oh, what a finish that was.
I remember Bottas, not Bottas, Ocon was almost broke his wheel with how hard he hit it after he missed out. I think the actual gap in the end was about half a tenth.
Wow.
It reminds me of Bottas and Stroll at Baku a few years ago.
What's with Bottas getting a super close finishes for the podiums?
Yeah. This is really awkward. Alright, so Hamilton got the fastest lap this race, which meant both drivers were on 269.5 points.
And this is where the most controversial race of the season, by far.
Right, let's just start with.
We haven't talked about this race once, by the way, on stream.
Yeah, Sergio Perez. What a G with his with the toe he gave Verstappen on his first lap.
Yeah, Sergio Perez played the best number 2 in the whole of Formula One's season.
Yeah.
Bottas doesn't even care at this point. He just knows, and he didn't even give Hamilton the toe once because Hamilton thinks he's smart of getting pole position without the toe, which is completely not true. And then the race itself.
Yeah, Hamilton took the lead into turn 1.
Good start from Hamilton. Verstappen almost collided with Hamilton.
Yeah, turn 6 happened.
And then Mercedes had really good pace, really good long run pace.
At this point, you'd think that's all she wrote in GG Sir Lewis, you know.
And then he crashed.
No, but before that, then Sergio Perez happened again. Oh,
Sergio Perez! If this guy can have the best, I don't know, teammate award, then that guy deserves a trophy.
The gap before Hamilton caught up to Perez, between Hamilton and Verstappen, was 13 seconds. After Hamilton got past Perez, it was 1.
Because the way Perez defended against Hamilton tried everything in the book to get past him. Perez is played the brick wall of Red Bull and literally just absolutely... The way he defended was supreme from Sergio.
A lot of people have pointed this out. If Perez didn't hold up Hamilton, Hamilton would have won the title. Because Hamilton would have been able to cover a Verstappen pit stop. Yeah.
And then Hamilton got past him. Then Perez literally just parked his car on the side of the road. Hamilton got away. Perez parked his car on the side of the road, just let Verstappen just drive by.
Then a few laps later, Mick Schumacher forced Nicholas Latifi wide. Then a few corners later, Nicholas Latifi bins it in turn 13.
This is where it all kicked off. Everyone was arguing everywhere.
This is where I made my best cry about it meme of all time.
So let's try and the best possible scenario is where they red flag the race, 5-lap shootout, done. But they didn't do it. They didn't do it one way. They decided to keep the safety car out. There was 5-lap cars between Hamilton and Verstappen.
There's 8-lap cars in total at this point.
Yeah. So Red Bull were not happy that the lapped cars were not to be overtaking the safety car. Then 2 laps to go, their FIA came out and said, "Oh, actually, let the lap cars go through." And Hamilton didn't stop because there was no chance of him stopping, because 1, he would lose track position, and 2,
he'd already missed a pit lane.
Yeah.
When they called the safety car.
Yeah. So Hamilton was in no man's land at this rate. So on the penultimate lap, Toto Wolff was banging his desk and everything else.
No, Mikey.
No, Mikey. and then the last lap starts, and me and my mate and my
screaming at my TV.
Literally, I was literally standing up, and literally my girlfriend watched me. Me and Harry were standing at the TV, screaming for Hamilton to do something.
He couldn't though. That's the thing. He was on 40-lap-old hards compared to Verstappen being on 3-lap-old softs.
He tried. He tried his hardest, bless him. And then after that, Toto Wolff. No, Michael, this is not right. This is not right.
I'm gonna share with you what I think the best image in F1 history is that came from this race. If I can find it, it just describes this season. It was Verstappen and Hamilton side by side, final overtaking point of the season.
I know. I
just
side by side going into the final banked corner.
Oh no, you haven't got your phone, have you?
Well, that's after the stream. Yeah. So Verstappen won the World Championship. Hamilton was gracious in defeat.
Toto Wolff wasn't.
Okay, so Hamilton was fine. Hamilton was gracious in defeat, but Toto Wolff and Mercedes were not happy about it.
Toto was incandescent with it.
Mercedes decides to protest twice, and they both got rejected.
Well, what was it? One was for overtaking on the safety car, one was for weaving, no?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then later on, Mercedes came out and said they're not going to continue with their appeal.
Yeah.
And let Verstappen at the World Championship. So that was
it. Yeah.
Mercedes were Constructors Champions for the record-breaking 8th time in a row. And we have a brand new Drivers' World Champion for the first time not being a Mercedes driver in the hybrid era. At last. Recalling what this season had it all, really, didn't it? It had it all. What a season!
Indeed.
I mean, how would you find this season up into as one of the? Is it better than the other seasons we had in the past decade, or?
I'm trying to think, because
2012 was a. Do you think these two, Hamilton and Verstappen, is better than 2012?
I think so, yeah.
You think so?
Like, if there wasn't the controversy, if there wasn't the contact that happened so much, I think 2012 would have easily taken this conversation. But just because of the talking points that happened, we got Baku, we got Silverstone, we got Monza, we got Jeddah, we got Abu Dhabi, we got the Stewards, we got Brazil, we got everything.
We had Michael Massey.
It was insane, Like it was just finger biting throughout the entire thing, and like being tied on points into the final race. Like,
not to mention the fact that we had the most amount of arguments on Discord ever, and the banter that came out of that was so funny.
Then there was the fact that there were 8 constructors on the podium.
Yeah,
this
true.
Season for the first time in, I want to say since 2012, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe
we had 8 constructors, but Alfa Romeo and Haas just miss out. We've got next season's quiz could be interesting. We've got no Kimi Räikkönen. We've got no Antonio Giovinazzi. Bottas has gone to Alfa, so has Guan Yu Zhou. Yeah. Russell is now finally a Merc driver.
Finally, yeah, deserved.
Red Bull will have the same, McLaren will have the same, Ferrari will have the same, Alpine
have the same, AlphaTauri have the same, Haas have the same.
It's just Alfa Romeo.
I think it is, yeah. And Williams bringing in Alex Albon.
And there's Latifi, yeah. So it's good to see Alex Albon back. I would say, McCall, it's good to see him back.
It's nice to hear him on the radio as well.
Oh, true point.
Oh my lord, Max.
I mean,
I always didn't want to believe that was him at first.
True point. So so how do you feel about next year? Then we're gonna have different cars. The rules. We're gonna have a clean slate and everything else. Well, how do you think next season's gonna be?
Well, it's going to take a lot to follow this season, I'm not.
I don't think next season. If next season's got something to hype about, it's got some way to beat in this one.
I remember reading something earlier this week that the cars might only be about half a second slower compared to what was set to be about 2 to 3 seconds slower, you know? So yeah, it could be very exciting. And with the likes of the development mystery that we don't know who's going to be fast yet, it just leaves so many question marks in the air.
Do you think of any constructor will be up there for next season? It's been talks of McLaren, it's been talks of Ferrari.
I want to say Ferrari will be up there, but I mean Ferrari are known for messing up when they have the chances, so I think it's gonna be Mercedes and Red Bull again. But it'll be.
It's nice to see the number one back in Formula One. Max Verstappen's confirmed. It's the first time since 2014.
Yeah.
And that was on a Red Bull.
Yeah.
Red Bull do love the number ones.
Memories. Yeah.
The memes coming in. I mean, how do you rate the season? How would you rate the season out of 10?
So like, there's this thing that comes to my mind when we talk about ratings, and I don't know if you probably won't know about this, but it's like Dave Meltzer's wrestling star ratings, where he'd like rate different matches in wrestling, and he with a scale of 5 stars, you're meant to keep to the 5 stars, but he never does that. He like gives 5.5, 6.
Yeah,
the best he's done is a 7. I would give this season 5.5 stars out of 5. You know?
Yeah, I'm gonna say 6 out of 5. It just had this season had all controversy, incidents, racing. He had a few dead ones here and there, but most of all, this season in general has been one of the best seasons in Formula One. And next year we're gonna have the new cars coming out. The new Drive to Survive on Netflix. That's gonna be a watch and a half. I can't even Drive to Survive how they put on this one on the map.
Then there's the driver talk as well, because Alonso's in his final year of his contract, Vettel's in his final year of his contract, Hamilton's in his final year of his contract. The golden era, as they call it. Yeah. And there's one name that comes to my mind when we think about driver talk, and it's Oscar Piastri.
Now, yeah, there's been a lot of hype around Oscar Piastri because he won the F3 championship, he's won the F2 championship. He's won the previous championship before F3, and
he won the F150 championship, I think it's called.
Yeah, F4 as well. I mean,
yeah.
Every time he drives a car, he wins a championship.
Yeah.
So
the last person who did that was one Max Verstappen.
Now, Oscar Piastri, I'm surprised he doesn't get a drive for next season, but he's going to learn so much in Alpine with Fernando Alonso and Esteban Ocon by his side, teaching him the ways.
Well.
Yeah, he's going to get more running in the car. So, hang on a minute, McCall. Do you think the new F1 car, looks similar to the F2 car in model-wise?
Not really, no.
It's got the same nose as the F2 car.
I don't know. It's an awkward situation. I need to see both cars again, but yeah.
So yeah, we're almost done, I'd say, and for the show, and it's been one hell of a season. The best season one of the best seasons I ever witnessed. It's definitely up there with 2012, and I've been watching Formula One for God knows how long, and can't wait to see how it all plans out in the first race of the season in Bahrain. And what I'm looking forward to most is the tracks itself, what they're going to bring. I can't wait to see the new Australia circuit, the new Australian Grand Prix circuit, whenever that gets done. And then, of course, got the new F1 game coming out next year as well. So I can't wait to drive the new Abu Dhabi circuit. That's going to be fun to drive.
Yeah.
Is this something you're looking forward to next season, Macaulay? Are we going to see Sergio Perez or George Russell going to be battling with Verstappen and Hamilton? Or is it going to see George Russell?
I want to see how Russell would face off with Lewis, because everyone's saying they'd give him a run for his money, but the way that Mercedes work with 2 cars, if Hamilton's in one of them, I think Russell might get neglected there, but
A lot of people
We
saying
can
that.
wait
A
and
lot of
see.
people were saying that George Russell will probably play second fiddle for a good good 5 races, and then after that he's going to be his own man.
yeah.
Because us Brits, we just do not care.
Nope.
That's going to be interesting to watch. I think we're pretty much all we have. I think we covered pretty much everything, and
About it.
on to 2022 now. New cars, new era. So that's going to be interesting to watch. And yeah, and Macaulay, looking forward to your in Mexico.
Yeah, I want to get on a podium. Really, that's all I want. I just want a podium.
Literally,
I should have had one by now.
you had a good showing in GP2 last time in America. That was
No, I didn't.
well, somewhat of a good
I
showing.
finished 11th.
Well, you almost finishing the points.
But I didn't.
Don't even talk about my second half of the season. It's been abysmal ever since I got the win in Hungary.
Oh well.
Oh well,
It
on
happens.
to next season.
Yeah.
Right, I think we're good to end it there, guys. So yeah, thank you for watching, guys, for this F1 podcast. Onward to F1 2022, and yeah, let's see if Hamilton, Verstappen go once more, and hopefully we get more drivers, more teams out there fighting with them. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to next season, and so is everyone else. And yeah, let's see how it goes. And thank you for watching, guys. And we'll see you for our next stream. Will be starting Monday for the Mexican Grand Prix and GP5, and then onwards to the final parts of the season. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. It's been fun, and thank you for watching, and see you later.